What's up, everybody? I'm the Mana Dork. I don't have a catchphrase, but what I do have is another standard 8 rare deck for you. And today we're playing a mill deck built around Riverchurn Monument from the new set. 1 in a blue for an artifact. It says 1 in tap. Any number of target players each mills 2 cards. And it's got an exhaust ability for 2 blue and tap. And any number of target players each mill cards equal to the number of cards in their graveyard. So this is going to help us get to that halfway point, and then once we're there, finish the deal. So we got to get to that halfway point though, so we've got some other things to mill. 4 Gnawing Vermin is going to mill them for 2, give us a blocker, and possibly deal with a small creature that they've got out. Got 2 copies of Cruel Somnophage. It's going to mill them for 4 on the adventure side and be hopefully a sizable blocker and attacker on the creature side. You got 2 copies of Disturbing Conversion to act as a removal spell while also milling them for a couple. You got 2 Terisian Mindbreaker. I'm pretty sure you're familiar with this one right by now. Unearth mills them for half of their library. So that, with the Riverchurn, just on their own, is going to mill the opponent entirely. You got 4 Deepmuck Desperado. He's going to mill them for 3 whenever we commit a crime, which is all of our removal spells and any of our other mill effects. So Riverchurn says any number of target players, so that's going to target. So if we've got a Deepmuck and a Riverchurn, for 1 mana we're hitting them for 5 cards. Rounding out the deck, we've got 2 Cut Down, 2 Duress, 4 Bitter Triumph. We've got the option of discarding somebody to the graveyard to pay the additional cost on this, which is going to help us with the Terisian Mindbreaker. Stern Lesson is going to do the same thing. We draw 2 and then discard. Put the Terisian or something we don't need in the graveyard, and then get a tap Power Stone, which is going to let us, we can use that every turn for the Riverchurn and keep our lands open for the spells. 3 Invasion of Amonkhet. Not sure on this one yet, but it mills them for 3. They discard a card, so that's going to be a total of 4 cards in their bin. We get to draw a card, and then if we flip it, we get to copy something that, hopefully we've milled something sizable, something imposing from their library, and we can copy that. If not, we can just make another copy of a Deepmuck Desperado and get more mill triggers. 9 Islands, 9 Swamps, 4 Soured Springs, which is going to give us another crime trigger for the Desperado. 2 Demolition Fields, again a crime trigger for the Desperado, as well as maybe pulling a land out of their deck. And that's 1 more card that we don't have to mill. And that's the deck. All right, I'm going to go find an opponent. That'll give you a chance to find the like and subscribe. And I'll see you over there. Not amazing, but we can try it. A little light on land, but we do have the couple of removal spells, including the Triumph. Mill them for 4. Give us a little insight into what they're doing over here. Redshift. Now, how soon are we worried about him? I think right now. But he activates based on his power. So he seems like a very good candidate. Oh, we get the braid out of there for a conversion. Putting him at -5 mana that he produces. Invasion. We haven't hit a lot of creatures on their side. They're going to come in for 4. That taps for 2 to activate abilities. That's a 0/4 defender. That's Deepmuck. And the turn. All right. Get that guy out of here. Mill them for 3. That's a little bit dangerous because that guy can exhaust out of the bin. Oh, we don't have the right mana for this. Get rid of their Sanctum. Just going to mill them for 3. And maybe we can take them out of blue mana. Nope. But we will find a blue mana ourselves. And drop an 8/8. No attacks. And those guys come back. So yeah, this probably was a ill-fated thing for us to begin with. Block right there. They get us down to 6. Mindbreaker. Come over this way. And the turn. So we've got them down to their last 14 cards. Block there and block there. Shrink that thing. No attacks. But I think they're going to be able to get both of their afterburners out of the bin. Or they'll make a loot. Redshift, and we just got super lucky. Who's got the exhaustibility now? Keep this. right into my trap. I got a Duress, which is fine. What do you take? All right. That's kind of funny. And we get to make them discard. And we'll get an extra in our hand. Tough choices for them. There's a shoulder downstairs. Cool. What's the bat take? Takes a cut down. I think that's the least important of those. Vampire Nighthawk. And mill them a little bit. And by a little bit, I mean for 5. Anoint that guy. Mill him again before our Desperado leaves. There's a blue source. Make that thing happen. Swing over here. Probably should have swung it with the vermin as well, but Invasion of Amonkhet flips. And I've got my eye on that Shieldred they had down there. Oh! Ecclesats might be good too. We can block some flyers. And if not, we've got them at the position where we can just exhaust the Riverchurn on our turn. And send them packing that way. All right, you got me. Goodbye, Desperado. No reason to block. Hatred's not in the format. Sheoldred's Edict. Did they pick the wrong? They must have accidentally chosen token. We had them anyway, so. We'll try it. I'm not optimistic, but we'll see what happens. Get that out of here before it starts making things very big. That's going to exile things from a graveyard. So we got to think about, is the Mindbreaker worth it? I don't think it is. Hit them with the Vermin. Mill for 2. And we'll convert that guy. Hopefully make him small. But it looks like they've got some sort of response. Exile some things. He's down to a 0/7. Lumbering World Wagon, gonna go find a land. Stern Lesson, see if we can get a land here, which we can. Get rid of the conversion. Land drop and end the turn. And the next turn we'll get out the Monument, start working that. No, we'll hold off. We're still in double digits. No need to block here. Go ahead and make a Monument. No attacks, but we are right now gonna get rid of that thing. End the turn. You're gonna hold off on the springs until we've got the Desperado out. Another one of those. That's no good. True, and they're going to get in for 7. this at 1. I think that's going to do it. We can mill them for 3. And mill them again during their turn for 5. But they've got an 8/8 trampler. They're going to come over and put us at, what's that going to be, -16? I'm good at math. Not good against mono green, but I know how to subtract. All right, this is acceptable. Another land and move would be amazing, but we'll see what happens. And there's our other land. Beautiful. Fortune. You gonna crew? You gonna come over? There we go. I knew you had it in you. Get rid of Fortune. Get rid of the Mindbreaker. Pass it back, and then we've got our choice of cut down or mill, depending on what they do with their turn. That's fine. Mill them for 2. And there's a Progenitus. That's not good for us. Mill them for 5. So what we'll have to do is set up a situation where we mill them except for the Progenitus. Let them draw and then mill from there. Or put them in a position where they can't I don't know what I was trying to say. Where they can't draw up to 8 cards, discard the Progenitus, and keep that in there for forever. We got to catch them at a point where the Progenitus is in their hand. come over with that. Progenitus goes back in. See what sorts of things are down here. Well, there's some scary stuff, but not too bad. So then the question becomes, what do we think is under these? We get that omniscience out of their hand. Get in. We will block. And what's the surprise? Oh, it's that thing. Portal to Phyrexia. See if we can survive the turn. Get rid of that thing. Alright, nothing scary. Who do you portal? What you gonna get? Tally? They'll cast the Progenitus. And lose on their draw step. So be it. And that's the deck. Wound up going 8-5 with it during the recording of the video, so not too bad. I did notice two things. Number one, there's a great correlation between whether or not we got the Riverchurn in the first couple turns and whether or not we won. This thing more than carried its weight, often carried the entire team, but we tended to struggle when it didn't show up. The other thing is we've got to figure out some way to deal with the opponent's graveyard. There were enough decks that we ran into that used the graveyard as a resource. And during the process of executing our plan, we wound up fueling theirs. And it's not a situation where the exhaustibility on Riverchurn does a whole lot if we happen to run something like Leyline of the Void. So I'm not sure if some sort of pinpoint graveyard interaction is needed. But it's something that needs to be taken into consideration. If you're still here, thanks for making it to the end of the video. I appreciate you taking the time to hang out and watch me play some games. Feel free to leave a comment if you like what you saw, or if there's anything you'd like to see me do differently. Don't forget to like the subscribe and button the smash, or whatever it is you do to show that you appreciate the video. Thanks again for joining me today, and I'll see you in the next one.